I've had the Galaxy S3 Frontier for about 3 weeks now. It's a smartwatch from Samsung, and it connects to the Samsung phones, it connects to Android phones, and it connects to iOS phones, with the iOS app just being made available this week. The watch is really nice. It feels like a normal watch, slightly larger maybe and slightly wider, as you can see here. But once you've worn it for a few days, it's light, and it feels quite nice. The amazing thing about them, of course, like all smartwatches, is that it's not just a watch. It can update you on things like messages and routes and all sorts of things as well, and answer your phone calls. The Galaxy S3 Frontier is not the first smartwatch I've tried, but it's the first one I've worn for this long, and it's virtually indispensable now that I've worn it. I originally wasn't going to look at smartwatches, but it grows on you, and it's used every day. If you have a phone call and it's raining, or you're walking along, or you're somewhere and you don't want to get the phone out of your pocket, you just switch the dial here to the left, sorry, to the right, and it answers, or to the left and it cancels. Now, if you don't have Bluetooth headphones attached to it, then it will answer it through the speaker, which is actually quite clear, but you might not want to do that in public, obviously. But if you do attach Bluetooth headphones to it, then you can actually get a headset or headphones answering the call, which is quite nice, and again, saves getting the phone out of your pocket. This has built-in GPS, so even if you don't take your phone with you, you can go running and it will measure your steps and where you've been as well. It's got a heart rate monitor as well, which seems quite accurate. So it measures your heartbeat at certain times. You can set it to all different times. You've got various apps. You can either swipe, which is quite nice. It tends to only work when I'm looking at it, so I'm not sure if I can do some contortionist work here. There we go. So you've got things like weather, you've got how many steps you've done, how many calories, and news as well. And obviously it has an always-on feature. Now, I'll talk about that in a minute. And the other thing is notifications. So if you swipe to the left, then you get notifications. However, if you don't fancy swiping, then you can use Samsung's unique dial system, which then swipes through everything. And the other thing is music, which you can actually store. There's 4 gigabytes on the device. You can store via Wi-Fi, or if you've got a Samsung phone, you can move everything over from your phone. Or you can play music that's on your phone. It will link up to your phone for that music. So there we go. Calendar, all sorts of things on there. That's the heart rate monitor. So if we then press the back button, so you have 2 buttons here. I don't know if you can see. There's the button that goes home, so that goes straight to home, and then a back button here. So the back button just undoes the last thing that you were on. With those 2 buttons and the dial and the touch screen, it's got pretty much every method you could think of. The nice thing with the dial is that you don't need to worry about wearing gloves or anything. With the touch screens, same with the phones, you've got a problem unless you've got those gloves with the funny ends on them, where it won't pick it up. But with the dial, it's quite nice for answering calls and basic functions. You can pretty much just use that and the buttons on the side. So it's quite nice in that respect. Now, as I was saying, there's an always-on function. So at the moment, that's what I've got. I'm showing this to you rather than looking at it myself. So the watch face is still on. It does take away some of the display to save battery life on some of the watch faces, and you'll find that different watch faces use different battery life. This one uses more. This is one of the standard ones that comes with it, but then if I switch to, literally you just have to hold the watch face down, and as you can see here, we just go across lots of different watch faces. There's even a really nice I don't know if you can see that without it going off again. Hang on. Fallout one. There we go. I have to be a contortionist to do that. So as you can see, this is the always on mode. It limits the information on it so that it saves battery life. Now you can have the off mode as well, which basically when you look at it, the watch will come on. When you look away from it, the watch will go off. Now that saves battery life a lot. With the watch face always on, you get 2 days of battery life on average. With it off, you get 4 days. And it does have sleep monitor as well. So if you've got the watch face off for when you're not looking at it, you can also measure your sleep for a couple of days without worrying about recharging it, which is quite good as well. So I am really happy with this. I've paired it up with the iPhone and the Samsung to test out the different functions, and mostly it functions the same, except for the Samsung store has a lot more apps available and paid watch faces as well, whereas the iOS app store on the Samsung store on the iOS app, which is slightly confusing, has only free apps and free watch faces, which limits it a lot. So you don't have things like Uber, you don't have various other apps that are available on the Samsung store. But saying that, I've been using this with the iPhone for about a week now, actually, and it's actually got quite a lot of apps still, and I don't really miss too many of the ones that are on the Samsung store. Maybe when I get a new Samsung phone, I might pair it up with that, but it's fine. The iPhone 6 Plus at the moment should work with all iPhones, all recent iPhones at least. And it shows your emails, your news, and your notifications, which is what you need, as well as things like Facebook. So yeah, overall, really happy 3 weeks in, and it has become indispensable. It's a really nice watch. Definitely recommend it to anyone. Thanks for watching.